How we doing there, Groovers, and welcome to the 10th day of April 2008, and today is about global rescue. We're investigating emergency preparation for food and water stocks, as well as survival kits and equipment in the event of an emergency. We need to make sure that we're prepared and ready to deal with potential shutdown so that we can then start up and deal with our own survival as need be. So here's our investigation on emergency preparation and food stocks and water. Let's check it out. We'll see you in a few moments for the global news from around the world. Okay, Danny, this is Global Rescue. Global Rescue is about preparation and response to climate change, to dealing with emergencies. And we couldn't agree more that at this time on the planet, emergencies seem to be popping up everywhere. And what do people do when these emergencies happen? Do they need food supplies?
Absolutely, Tommy. As you said, we're living in a lull. We talk about the quickening, but we're only having a quickening because there's been a slowing, and we need to speed up the process and get people organised. In today's topic, as you said, is food supply, and it's been one of the best little areas that we've come across because it's been the cheapest, and what a great security and what a great thought it is to have that much tucker stored away for a rainy day.
That's right, Danny. Emergencies can happen to any person on the planet at any time, and it's certainly getting exponential on the planet now. When it comes to emergencies, we've looked at the period of time. Even 2 weeks to 3 weeks of food per person is an enormous difference, and just for peace of mind, let alone the event itself. We've also got to look at a place where we can store this food, making sure it's safe and well contained, and finally the types of foods we get and whether we've rotated them to be realistic. If this does happen, have we got the basic nutritional needs to look after any person? So on this transmission, we'll have a look at foods and see what sort of ideas we can give to people to prompt them to get started on their own food supply at home.
Yeah, as you said, Tom, it's a very basic system, and people have just got to start small, and then you can obviously grow. But obviously with food, you've got your water as well, which we obviously join in on our display area here at the sanctuary. But this is it's Global Rescue, and it's planetary first aid.
That's good, Danny. Let's take a look at our little food collection that started when the campaign Bluestar kicked off here in the Red Sandy Desert. We'll have a look at that quickly and see what we can learn.
So good look.
All right, Danny. Right now we're in the middle of Earth Sanctuary World Nature Centre, and we're in our shipping container. This is a 24-foot shipping container which we've used to secure the food that we've looked at in the event of an emergency and anything that can happen on the planet. As you can see around here, there's enormous amounts of cans. We've also considered basic things like wheat and basic powders and things that last a long time. The good thing about the time we live in, we have access to some amazing foods and packaging which can give us almost up to 12 to 20 years in terms of storage, and that's the key. We've got to prepare for a whole range of different sorts of shutdowns. In this container, we've, as you can see, ranged from pasta sauces. We've got all sorts of relishes, syrups, and all the basics. But one thing's important is we can't exclude the big massive amount of water per person per day, and we need to look at what the average nutritional requirement for a single person is per day and multiply that by a family and whoever tends to turn up when emergencies happen. So this has been going on for the last 8 years here at the sanctuary in what we call the bunker, or the shutdown, or the startup centre, and we've tried to comprise enough food to at least give us, on this occasion, about 6 months. 6 months. We really don't know the nature of the emergencies which are going to occur on the planet, so on this occasion we've had to make sure we've planned for the worst and hope for the best.
There's a food list there, Tommy. Was that helpful to get that set up, obviously, before start buying your inventory?
It certainly is, Dan. It's all about the mathematics, and we've got to look at what we go through daily and what's the very bare minimum that we can get through to make sure we survive. In this case, we've written up a list, looked at the average amount of food and the nutritional requirements per person per day, and we've then multiplied that by the time and also the consideration of how long these foods will last in the event of all sorts of shutdowns. So one thing we've learned as well, you have to stay on top of it, because some foods do go off, they need to be rotated. So the best thing you can do is set up a little list like this, which has the quantities, the amounts, and also the use by dates of these products, and that way you can make sure you use it and keep restocking it, because there's no point having green alfalfa when it comes to a flood in your house.
Where was the best place to start for most people, Tommy? Is it just if they look at their family and obviously just work out the numbers of people in their family and who they may need to cater for, and then obviously give themselves, to begin with, just maybe 4 weeks of food?
That's right, Danny. Look, start small and get into a habit of just doing it and rotating this. Start for even 3 days is a good start for any person, but at this point in time, 2 weeks, get started on that, looking at expanding it, and learn about these foods and understand what is it that's basic, simple, and will stay safe and nutritional for the time that you've got it stored. So this is our food storage. We're going to investigate food continuously throughout Global Rescue to make sure that we're all up to scratch with what are the essentials when it comes to food storage and water storage in the time of emergency. And the sooner we get started, we're in a good shape to deal with an emergency when it happens. Preparation is the key.
No worries, Tommy. There's lots of obviously canned food here, so it was obviously pretty important to grab for the team. Obviously canned food is a great resource and obviously lasts for quite some time, and you know, we're not here to obviously last out till 2050. It's just purely to get us through, so you can almost get your own organic garden going in the meantime, yeah?
Absolutely, Danny. It's just a seatbelt. It just gets us through a period, and often it's not the event itself that causes the loss of life or disruption of life. It's how it affects all the other industries in the stoppage. So we just need to be prepared to deal with an interruption of all scales, and make sure that our own system doesn't burden other people. And the more everyone can individually accommodate their own food needs, we can release the burden on the rest of society when these events do happen. And by the looks of the planet, these events are surely happening, and people have been affected by it every day, and without the preparation, it certainly puts us up shit creek.
Okay, no worries, Tommy. We'll without further ado, we'll get going and keep working away.
Good work, Danny. This is Global Rescue and food storage, including water. We'll see you on the next transmission.
Emergency situations can happen any time. This includes hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, major earthquakes and extreme blizzards. These can all leave you trapped without electricity for a long period. If the area in which you live is prone to any of these types of devastation, you should keep an emergency food pantry stocked with foods to keep you healthy until the disaster has passed. See you next time on Global Rescue.
There you have it, folks. We hope you enjoyed our investigation into emergency preparation for food and water and survival equipment stocks in the event of all the very many emergencies that are occurring right now around the planet. Speaking of emergencies, let's take a look at the global news from around the world for climatic variation. First of which, we get an update from the Brazilian floods, of which a confirmed loss of life, 34 people of fatalities are confirmed, 190,000 people are now displaced, and the threat of disease is now kicking in. Here's where the real drama begins. Next we look at another tornado that has hit central Texas. Southern Texas has also received a fairly rare 3.1 to 3.4 earthquake on the Richter scale. Further news looks at storm warnings which have been issued for Colorado, extreme weather expected there, and we also look at a very large 7.5 magnitude earthquake which has occurred in the region of Fiji, the southern Pacific. This is a very, very large quake, and concern is now raised at the frequency and number of these quakes which are occurring around the world. And finally, evacuations are now considered in Hawaii as extreme winds are now pushing the sulfur dioxide pushed up by the largest volcanic region on the planet, and this sulfuric acid and this dioxide in the air is causing health risk again. Guys, there's some extreme weather news from around the planet. This planet is moving, climate change is alive and well. Please check out millicom.com to see what you can do in your neck of the woods to help yourself get prepared to deal with the advent of climate change on the planet Earth. We hope you're smiling, and we'll see you on the next transmission. Take care, guys.
join us tomorrow, team, as we look at the funny side of life with Holy Joe's Friday and MILK. Ciao!